Hey guys, so today I got an email from someone who's been reading our blog for a while, and he said, hey Natasha, you haven't posted for a while. What's going on? Are you okay? And I was like, oh, thank you so much, Phil. I'm really touched. Thank you for the love and care and for reminding me to do my job. So here I am posting again, and I hope to do more of this in the coming weeks. So today I want to talk about setting intentions as an empath. I believe living intentionally is very, very important when you are, for anybody, but especially when you are an empathic being who is very sensitive to the energies, emotions, and thoughts around you. And I will tell you why, but before that, I just want to remind you, because I know, people who watch this or to read my stuff tend to be sensitive, empathic people. I want to remind you a couple ground truths about being empathic. I've talked about this before, but you can never repeat truth too many times. So the first truth is being empathic, being energetically sensitive. Instead of, what we normally think about it as a weakness, it is actually a very powerful thing. Being empathic means you are a more powerful and capable container, energetic container, compared to most people. We live in a efficient universe that doesn't like to waste the resources. There is no reason to give you the capacity to be more sensitive without giving you the capacity to actually handle it. So most people who don't feel as much as you do, because most people do not have the ability to actually process, transmute, transform the energy that you are feeling so much of. So you may feel overwhelmed sometimes, but if the same amount of sensitivity, same amount of energy was felt by someone else, it will be doubly, triply overwhelming to the average person. So that is the first thing I want you to remember is if you are an empath, you are a very, very powerful being, and you need to remember that. And secondly, related is being empathic is a powerful tool for you to heal and transform the world around you if you use it sufficiently. It is a powerful tool because when you see and feel and acknowledge whatever energy and thought form that is unseen and unnoticed or blocked by someone else, even by the person who's carrying it themselves, what you are literally doing is process and transform that energy into the light for the greater good, for the collective consciousness, for the betterment of humanity. Now, if you don't know, if you're not fully aware of your power, if you don't know, if you don't have a consciously awareness of what's going on or what you are doing, you're still processing it. It's just you're not doing it very efficiently. You're not doing it very effectively, or as well as you are capable of doing. But still, you're processing it, even if by merely noticing it. Because whenever you notice something, we're talking about the subtle energy, right? Whenever you notice something, when you observe something, the observed is being transformed by the observer, right? So I just want you to remember these truths. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or inundated by whatever stimuli around you from the outside world, I want you to remember, instead of feeling victimized by that situation, remember that this is actually the world around you is shouting at you, hey, please heal us. Please, because we know that only you have the capacity to do that. And you have the power, and you have the privilege, and with power comes responsibility, right? So, but why you? Why are you the one to carry that burden? I don't know, because you are more talented. So that's the ground truth I want you to remember. And also, the more aware you are, the more evolved you are, the farther along on your path of self-realization, the more sensitive you will be. You will feel more things, not less. Because, again, you have a bigger capacity to handle it. So the universe is handing you more. So, and that is the path of no return. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. And so I want to talk about intentions, because that is related to how you can best use this tool, this powerful tool that you have. Because most of us who are empaths, we really were not very clear how to deal with this tool, this gift that we have. And if you don't know what to do with it, it's like a nuclear bomb in the hand of the toddler, right? So it doesn't do anybody any good except make you feel burdened and overwhelmed. So I want to remind you that there are a lot of things going on when you are receiving energies from the outside world, when you are feeling overwhelmed. A lot of things are going on in the intangible realm, but there are two important things that are happening that is causing the sense of overwhelm. The first thing is, whenever you feel that the world is bringing you down, or you are being affected by those around you. For example, someone is depressed and he's sitting next to you and you suddenly feel depressed. Sounds familiar? So whenever that happens, what is actually happening is that the outside world is triggering something inside of you that is unloved, unacknowledged, unhealed. Because you have that affinity point inside of you. That's why you feel overwhelmed and triggered. That's why the outside world can bring you down, because you have the energetic trigger inside of you that is similar to that energy that you receive from outside. Now, I hope you can see where I'm going with this, because you're smart. How you can deal with this is to heal and acknowledge and love whatever is being triggered inside of you, so that what's inside can be transformed and healed. And that affinity point will dissipate. Because when you don't have the affinity point inside of you, whatever happening outside, you will still feel them, but it will be just, oh, I guess that person is feeling that way. It will not have nearly as much impact on your senses of self and your senses of well-being when you don't have that affinity point. So whenever you get triggered, consider it a blessing. It is a blessing because it's an opportunity for something inside of you to show up and be healed. And in the process, by loving and accepting whatever coming up inside of you, you are growing and becoming a bigger force, bigger, more powerful force in the world. So that's the first important thing that's happening. And second important thing that's happening is that there is always, when energies encounter each other, there's always a process of entrainment. The stronger energy entrains the weaker one. The ideologically pure, even if it's pure evil and hatred, will entrain the confused and self-doubtful. So some people will tell you, love always wins. The light always wins. No, they don't. They will win only when they are clear and pure and clear about who they are and what they're about. And somehow, at this stage of the evolution on this planet, it's a little bit harder for love and light to be pure and clear and strong compared to the other side, for whatever reason. But that's totally different topic. So that's where intention comes in. Because intention, what is intention? Intention is a concentrated, focused thought form and energy, right? So that is a very powerful thing. It's concentrated, it's clear, it's pure, at least purer compared to otherwise. And that's why, you hear people say prayers are powerful. Because what is prayer? Besides, other than concentrated, focused intent. Prayer is intention. So when you have a clear intention about whatever situation you are going into or in your interactions with other people, it makes you a stronger force in the equation. It makes it more likely that your light will entrain those around you instead of the other way around. So whenever I go into a situation, no matter whether it's go to a meeting, go to a social function, or just, meet up with friends, I usually set a intention. Now, two kinds of intention. I set an intention for the space that I'm going into. For the space when the interactions with the world will be happening, right? Can be the meeting room, can be, the coffee shop, can be the workplace, or wherever that you're going into. I set the intention that with my presence in that space, with the presence of me and my higher self, any and all negative thought forms and energies, fear, hatred, sadness, doubts, any negative thought forms will be cleared from that space. And in its place, light and love and peace of equal amount will be instilled. Now, if you watch native shamans and healers do their healing ceremonies, before they work on whoever is involved that they need to work on, they always set up what's called a sacred space. They use whatever bells and whistles they have, their rattles, their drums, their feathers, and whatever. Do their prayers and chant and set up this elaborate ritual to create this sacred space. And what essentially is happening is they are creating that container, that energy form, that pure intent for the healing to happen. So what I'm asking you to do is essentially the same without the bells and whistles. Well, the bells and whistles are there because they're rituals for the human mind to buy into the concept, which is a great thing. But what I'm telling you is you don't really need that. All you need is really 5 seconds to set an intention. So I set an intention for the space, and I also set an intention for how I want to feel in that space. I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel confident. I want to feel powerful. I want to feel loving and joyful, whatever you want to feel. And I also want whoever is involved in the situation to feel good about themselves, to feel loved and respected and understood. Even if we are totally different people, even if we want totally different things, it doesn't matter. When you set those intentions, I guarantee you, it always makes the situation better, sometimes in magical ways that your rational mind cannot imagine. So that's why intentions, I think, are so important, especially when you are an empath, because that is the source, that can be the source of your extra power. And also it helps you to better, more effectively carry out your mission in the world, which is to be the light and to uplift and transform this earth plane. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you like this video. If you like this, don't forget to share this with your friends. And I will talk to you next time.